Welcome to the I-80 Club and a all-new Saturday morning coffee show. Josh Peterson and my 1620 The Zone colleague, Matt McMaster, filling in today for Jack, live from parts unknown somewhere, I believe, in Colorado. Matt, good morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. It is a wedding weekend, a family wedding weekend. I do want people to understand there is a difference between friends' wedding and family weddings.
Definitely.
This is a family wedding. It should be fun. I went to the Rockies game yesterday, as you can see with my hat that I bought there.
Ooh.
Beautiful stadium. Nick Grimm's going to be so pissed. Look, it's got
You got a cool... Oh my
Dude,
gosh, that is an awesome hat. He's
look
gonna
how
be so jealous.
Dude, it's so sick, dude. It's awesome. It's like the 25th anniversary. It was like a special edition you can only like buy at the stadium, apparently. I was like, dude, this is dope. And it's like, it's fitted too. It's like, dude, I'm gonna wear this all over the office. I'm gonna be so mad. It's gonna be so
Matt,
pissed.
how much would he have to offer you? How much would he have to offer you
Zero.
for you to say, all right, I'll so you
Zero.
there is no price for you.
I'm a hat collector. I own in my apartment right now, there's 36 hats. I wear a hat every single day. I love hats. I used to do the whole 47 mystery hat collection thing. Like that was my deal.
Oh yeah.
I loved Jack Mitchell, funny enough, put me on that. I didn't know it existed until he told me about it. But now every time I go to a stadium or if I go to a nice golf club, like if I go to if I go golfing at a nice place, I buy a hat. I buy hats all the time. I love hats. So this was dope. It took me like 20 minutes to pick this out though. That Rockies team store at Coors Field, incredible. Like absolutely insane how nice it is. Like it is. They even had their like AA and AAA affiliates hats there too. It was. I was so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
The Rockies suck, but everything about that franchise is actually pretty cool.
It's kind of first rate. Yeah, it's they are a terrible franchise, but I'm happy that you got a cool hat. That hat is awesome. Nick is going to be so jealous of you. So I look forward just if anything, I look forward to that reaction. We appreciate everyone for hanging out with us today. Matt McMaster, for those who don't know, my colleague at 1620 The Zone, he does Gary and Matt with Gary Sharp each and every weekday morning from 6 to 10. So we appreciate Matt sitting in for the now second time on the I-80 Club. And Matt, maybe more to come from you and me on the I-80 Club over the course of this football season.
Yes, we have to iron out some details and
we do
figure some things out. But I think you will. I'll give a little hint of what the theme of what we might be doing will be later. I'm drinking my coffee right now, by the way.
Yep, and that's good.
So this is I know that's a theme of this show, and I also love coffee.
Well, that's good. Yes, this is indeed the Saturday morning coffee show. If you are stumbling upon this show for the first time, there was somebody who asked a few minutes ago. Yeah, Mark said, did Josh fire Jack? No, Jack is not fired. Jack went to the Royals game last night. Jack is on his way home. He actually might be on the road literally right now. Jack and I will be back, though, later on tonight for After Nebraska Football, which is our rebranded post-game show. It will be on Saturday nights throughout the football season. We are going to go tonight, even though Matt and I are just about to dive into the Nebraska-Cincinnati game. But that will be on coming up tonight, and it will start at 8 o'clock. And so we would love to have you join us live on the I-80 Club YouTube page tonight at 8 o'clock, and we will talk about that. Plus, Matt will be reacting to day one or week one of the college football season. Cincinnati. Cincinnati. Ohio State is just about to play Texas. I'm watching game day right now, so that game will get going at 11. But we'll also be reacting to the Clemson-LSU game tonight, which should be a whole lot of fun. And you'll be at a wedding, a family wedding, probably peeking at your phone throughout the day.
Well, this is bad because I've kind of stapled my brand to Clemson this year. They're my pick to win. They're my pick to win the national title. When I gave my picks yesterday, which I'm so sorry for steering you wrong on the Baylor-Auburn game, which by the way,
sad. Yeah.
What the hell was Baylor? First off, that holding call on the 3rd and 10 in the fourth quarter was absolutely atrocious. That wasn't even brutal. It wasn't even. Here's my thing. I know this isn't how football works, but if it's a run all the way to the left and there's a holding all the way to the right, and the holding doesn't even.
It didn't affect it.
It didn't affect the play at all. Nothing about the hold affected Baylor stopping them on third down.
He was so far down the field by the time that the hold was happening.
There was nothing. There's nothing that happened that if that hold doesn't happen, the play is still the same. It's still so. And then Jackson Arnold. Look, Jackson Arnold is still a bad quarterback. I'm not going to let go of that rope. He's still not good. Okay, but looked like damn Michael Vick yesterday. And then you had the punt. You had the kick return touchdown. That's what we call a McMush. Okay?
McMush.
If I wasn't, if I wasn't betting that game, Baylor wins it without a doubt.
Interesting. So I followed you in predictions, and that was a point loss for me. So yeah, we'll be reacting to all that stuff tonight. So join us at 8:00 right here on the I-80 Club YouTube page. And now we can dive in. If, again, joining us for the first time, we read comments inside of our I-80 Club Discord server. If you want to drop one on YouTube because you're not a subscriber, hit us with a super chat, and we will read it there as well. Normally on these game days, we will do the Saturday flight, which Matt and I will get to later on this morning's pod as we get ready for the day's action. But mainly, Matt, we will talk Husker football, and it's interesting today. We get to do it of the post-game variety, even though we did a 2+ hour post-game show on Thursday night, Friday morning. We have not had a chance, you and I proper, to talk about the game because you were separate from us back at the TikTok house while we were still at the stadium. I did listen to a large portion of your show yesterday, though, so I got kind of the vibes. Now that we are, 36 hours removed from the game, how is Nebraska's performance with Cincinnati sitting with you as Nebraska moves to 1-0 on the season for the second straight year under Matt Rule? Notes. Look at all the notes. Look at all that glorious prep.
This is how I know that's becoming the bit now. I love to fish. It's a mixed bag of fish. That's the best way I can put it. Like when you after you go home, you're fishing, you have a beautiful mixed bag. And there's some awesome walleye, and then there's some great northern, but then there's some bass that taste like ass. And there's a lot of assy parts about what happened on Thursday. There's plenty of bass in there. So that's how I feel. There's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah. Jab says, great analogy. By the way, Laura did want to know who got the couch. I did offer my bed to Matt, and he said, no, I don't want to sleep. What did you say? I don't like germs.
No, it was going to be a whole. You gotta understand, it was a very long day for us. It was. And
you had to wake up. You had to wake up earlier than me.
Very early, and it was an awesome trip. And I think that it was a trip that, and I don't want to speak on the entirety of the station, that some of us were walking into being like, oh, this is going to be long. This is going to be a lot. And then it ended up being, I think everybody had a great time, or at least that's the vibe I got. It was a ton of fun, but it very much was a work trip. And it was very long. And when you got back at 2 a.m., I'm like, I do not want to do this BS of
moving things to the room,
moving things around, going downstairs. I'm like, dude, the couch was so comfy. I was totally fine with the couch. So I slept on the couch.
The couches were pretty solid. I think how you described the game, Matt, I think that's pretty good. I'm not a fisher. I'm not a fisherman. I haven't been fishing in 20 plus years. I hate fishing. Though, when I was a kid, I found it boring. I bet I would like it now because I like peace and quiet. So I probably would totally hate it. Could I throw on a podcast in my headphones and cast a line, as they say? But it was, I think, Matt, the thing, and I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again, and I think that this is kind of going to be the angle of my Husker Max column when I sit down and write it tomorrow morning. It just looked the same. It looked the same as last year. And I think that is the part that I am kind of reconciling right now and trying to figure out what, if anything, does that mean? Because, dude, I can certainly do the thing, and we all will. Well, first of all, you disagree. Let me finish, though. I can do the thing where I say, it's game one, though. It's not a huge deal. It's game one, and they were able to get a victory in a game that they have often lost over the last handful of years. But I did think that especially on offense, I thought that there were a lot of similarities. Lack of big plays, lack of downfield threat. Emmett Johnson was good, as he always is, but maybe not great. Dylan Raiola, the check down king. All of the things were very similar to me than last year. The biggest difference is they got a lot of nice bounces, right? They never turned the ball over, even though they could have multiple times. And they had the just atrocious play call from Cincinnati at the end of the first half that gave them the football, and then they went in and scored. So that's kind of where I'm at. It seems like you disagree with me, though, a little bit.
No, I agree, and hence mixed bag. It's like everything will be a mixed bag for me because I agree and I disagree. Because I first off, puck luck. That's the best. I mean, that's a hockey phrase, but that's what
Look
they
at
got.
you.
They
You got
like,
hockey and fishing on the coffee show so
I
far
know.
today.
They got plenty, but like we call it bounces, I call it puck luck. Like it just kind of went their way. You're totally right. Like the Dylan Raiola should not have recovered that fumble.
Oh my God, I still can't believe it, Matt. I've watched that play like 5 or 6 times since, and I still can't believe it.
It is almost like as if he was dead on the ground and like unconsciously and involuntarily, his brain was like reach for the ball. It was crazy.
Like it was a poor man's version of Jadeveon Clowney against Michigan.
Yeah.
Just reaches out and somehow it's like, wait, how did he just do that? How
It
did he
looked
grab
like
the ball?
If I rewatch that play like you a couple of times, it looks like a zombie hand is like getting out there, and he's just like bringing. Yeah, it's crazy. And then the pick six that should have been a pick six. Also, too, the one thing that I don't know this, and I hate saying this fan base because I hate that term because I feel like it separates me from people,
them. Yeah.
and it makes me look bigger. I'm not, okay? So I just like to say fan base and media or fan base and me because I'm right there with them. I feel like we forget the Isaiah Hunter catch. Is that just like that play?
The touchdown from Isaiah?
The touchdown was incredible.
It was ridiculous.
It was a crazy ass catch. Like a play that should not be made. He made it over the guy, then he fumbled it, then he got it back, then he gets his toe down. Like Nebraska never makes that play. They like who the hell makes a play like that? Like there was just a lot of things that went their way. But here's the difference.
Okay.
So I agree with you there, but I disagree with you here.
Okay.
They took advantage of it.
They did. They had the opportunities and they actually executed.
That's why I don't think it looks the same. Because people are like, oh, the Nebraska of the past doesn't make that interception. Well, the Nebraska of the past, sure, it doesn't make that interception. They're like, oh, it was a bad throw by Brendan Sorsby.
Mm-hmm.
In past Nebraska, that throw still happens, and Malcolm Hartzog drops it. It's not that the wide receiver catches it; it's that Hartzog drops it. Hartzog caught it. So, and the whole now, I will push back on one more thing.
Okay,
Dylan. I don't think Dylan looked the same. I think Dylan looked better.
You thought he looked better.
I thought he looked better. That one scramble he had in the fourth quarter, where he did that weird fall forward slide.
By the way, real quick, I rewatched that play. It looks less goofy on TV than it did live well, I guess you had probably left by that point in time, though.
It looked goofy on TV.
See, I just thought it looked like a player who did not want to slide because maybe he doesn't feel comfortable sliding, and maybe he definitely doesn't feel comfortable sliding on grass. And so he was just like, I'm just going to dive forward. I thought it looked way weirder in person, though.
Okay, this is tinfoil hat. Yeah. I think he's scarred from the USC foot slide.
Yeah.
Like that he doesn't want to have the ball behind him, so now I think he slid forward there.
Interesting.
Because he doesn't want people to think that he's a wuss or he's not trying to get as much yardage as possible.
Interesting.
Tinfoil hat.
Hey, you know what? He was bad at sliding last year multiple times. Yeah. He was bad against Boston College. He slid too early. I don't hate that theory. That's pretty solid.
I think it's kind of one of those things that Dylan would be concerned about. Yeah. Because Dylan definitely is a guy who cares about what people say about him and what people think about him, and that's a fact. And so I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see more slides forward, so the ball is always going forward. I'm just saying that. Now, that scramble though, before he left, he maneuvered the pocket really well. He slid, and he moved up. He didn't do that.
That's why he was able to get as much space in front of him.
He doesn't do that last year. Also, too. Last year, I don't think he gets the ball out as quickly as he did against Cincy. And so I think that's a difference as well. At the same time, I don't – I understand you're taking what the defense is giving to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate the idea of, you couldn't scheme anything up and you couldn't beat a cover 3 shell and you couldn't find anything down the field deep and, it's not as if Cincinnati's cover 3 deep shell is some impenetrable, Fort Knox defense that you can't find a way to throw the ball deep to. So I don't buy the whole I'm not mad about how the offense was operated, but I'm also not just handing out the excuse of oh, that's what Cincinnati does. You can't throw the ball deep against them. plenty of teams have threw the ball deep against them last year. So that's a concern as well. I mean, I think there were things that looked different. Things that look the exact same.
So I mentioned, and when I led off with the things that look the same, that was mainly an offense first kind of mindset for me. Let's talk about something that did look different, and it's something Matt has brought up now a couple different times, and that's special teams. He says any of the last 7 or 8 years, Nebraska would have missed at least one of the field goal attempts, had a punt blocked, or actually had a turnover, and they easily lose that game, possibly by 2 scores. You want to talk about the biggest difference from last year to this year? It was certainly the special teams. And Matt, it wasn't like I said this on the show yesterday, and I'll keep saying it. Like, they were not great, but what they weren't was terrible. I thought that, I mean, certainly, look, you knock in a 50-yard field goal, round of applause, because last year, I know that they made one against Ohio State, but gosh, it just was a roller coaster ride. The execution on the field goals, I thought, looked very, very crisp. So you start there. I thought Archie Wilson looked as comfortable and as I have seen a punter around here in quite some time at catching a punt. And I was trying to figure out, do we call it a pocket? Like, what is it called when a punter gets the ball and is kind of moving around? Because whatever you want to call what is near him, that pocket maybe as big as the one that your keys were in. He had lots of space. And did you notice? I mean, he just never looked rushed, and that allowed for the punt coverage to get down. Like, this is something that Eckler had talked about, where they're adding hang time by him being comfortable standing back there. So like that certainly looked different. I thought the return game looked pretty much the exact same. So we'll see what happens there. But I mean, I would say, I guess I can't define for sure that how much a punt was worth. I can tell you that the field goals were actually worth 6 points and the extra points were worth 2 more points. But I thought that the special teams actually did look better, look improved. I gave them a solid B for their performance on Thursday.
A couple of things. First off, Bruce is asking if I could see the chat. Yes, I can. I'm on the Discord. I'm in the I-80 Club. So I have
baby.
chats, and I'm reading all of them. You guys
all the comments about your headphone or about your microphone right now.
Dude, I hate it. I hate it just as much as anybody else. Okay.
Stop touching it. It sounds okay. Just don't touch it, because then it goes. Bzz, bzz,
I have earwax in my ear, and it's bothering me. Okay, I need a Q-tip. Okay, this is a weird take. I agree with everything you just said. Perfectly laid out. You're totally also too astute observation on your part with the adding to the hang time with the Australian punt. Like, people
it's pretty crazy.
fully put on how, like, you're adding literally a second and a half, and so now you can do that line drive punt like he kind of did that landed at the 9, because his punt's gonna go too high, but all the guys were down there already. And I think, and I'm not a punter, but I imagine it's probably easier to hit those low punts that just hit at a dash as opposed to hitting it super high and it coming down. So you're adding to that hang time. I'm pissed off about it. I'm mad about the special teams.
Why?
Because it won them the game. And you're telling me that all it took this entire fucking time was to hire a competent fucking special teams coordinator for this Nebraska team to win a close game? Are you fucking kidding me? The last 10 years could have just been solved by one of these guys just being like, I got a crazy idea. How about we hire a special teams coordinator that's really good at his job? That's all it took?
Matt, didn't you say something like that when Schaefer filled in with you a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, you said, I think you said the exact same thing without the F word. You were like, I'm mad because it does seem like the adjustment on special teams is just going to have someone who knows what he is doing.
Yes.
And you're right. Like, it makes you look back at the last, however many years, and you just get frustrated because they have had now we don't have to do it. I did it in the Chronicles, 1,000 one-score losses, and many of those one-score losses were because of inept special teams, whether it's a missed field goal, a muffed punt, a bad punt, whatever, a kickoff out of bounds. Like, they have had too many of those to count over the last decade. And so in a season where, like, if they're playing in a lot of these one-score games and suddenly they're winning them, I mean, Matt, we're going to end up giving a shitload of credit to the punting game, the kicking game, and to Mike Eckler in general. I mean, it really could be the hire of the offseason. Could be the hire of, like, the last decade if it ends up working out well for the program.
I just, so Gary, and I love Gary, was like, Eckler's going to be worth like have a 1.5 WAR, a wins above replacement. And I'm like, man, that's crazy to think about, because 1.5 wins is massive for it. The margin of error has never been thinner for this team.
Yeah,
the
correct.
difference between going 7-5 and 8-4 cannot be understated. And so to say that one singular hire is worth a win is big. He already is worth that. He's already worth one win above replacement, just based off of strictly of the 51
DZ
yard
says
field
he's
goal.
already at 1. Yeah,
he's already at 1. They do not win that game without having Tyler Cunanan, who they wouldn't have had if he didn't come in.
Archie Wilson
and Archie Wilson, who they wouldn't have had if he didn't come in. And
great point.
And like look at the difference here. They go, so they have to. Cincinnati has to start at the 9-yard line, right? They got all the way up to the 30, right? So in a normal like special team scenario with Nebraska, they probably start 16 yards further, which means that they're at the 15-yard line by the time they make all those plays, which means they probably don't take a shot into the end zone at the end of the game. And they're probably doing some stuff that's more over the middle of the field, which Nebraska did a good job of defending throughout the entirety of the game. But it just makes things easier for Cincinnati to score in that regard. So already is worth 1. Already.
Yeah, it's a great point. You know, I'm trying to pull up some numbers real fast. But on Wednesday's show, when John and I went through our keys, one of the things that I took a look at was starting field position last year. These two teams were not really good in terms of starting field position. 89th on offense for Nebraska. They were 83rd on defense. And so those stats are interesting because sometimes it's going to be the offense's fault. Sometimes it's going to be the defense's fault in terms of where you start. But of course, a lot of the time it is going to be your special teams fault in terms of where you start in field position. I don't have those numbers in front of me right now. Maybe you do, but I would love. Oh, here it is. Nebraska. Okay. You ready for this? Both teams had 10 total drives in the game. Average starting field position for Nebraska, their own 36. Cincinnati's was their own 22-yard line. So, I mean, right there, and the available yards that then Nebraska was able to gain over the course of the game was 71%. For Cincinnati, it was 52. So, I mean, that ended up being absolutely massive for them. 14 yardage in field position. Like, it's not going to be that way every single game.
No,
but that is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on throughout the entire season. And those stats are from GameOnPaper.com.
So, real quick, and you might know this, but I've heard this whole thing of, so Tom Osborne used to say that every yard you start farther up on your initial drive is X amount of percent closer toward you scoring. Like there was, I don't know, maybe that's like a Nebraska football myth, but it sounds something like he would say, and that it sounds like, I mean, this is it's the hidden yardage, right? That's the very fancy, football guy term that we like.
It used to be hidden, but now we have the stats for it, so it's no longer hidden anymore.
It's no longer hidden, but we still like, it's hidden yardage. I mean, it was the best aspect of the team for sure, simply because it was the most consistent. Simply because them in the secondary, but even we can get into the secondary later. I have some thoughts on the secondary.
Okay. Well, so we've done the offensive thing, we've done the special teams thing. Let's get into the defense, because this was, of all of the spots that were criticized, I guess, over the last 36 hours, Matt, like the running game, the run defense has been, I would say, the most criticized, even more than the offense being, very much played in a phone booth, and Dylan Raiola's performance, and he had a very high completion percentage, but his yards per attempt were below pedestrian. The defensive line has been the thing that is most criticized for their performance. The passing game for Cincinnati was obviously non-existent. Let's start with the secondary, because that's what you wanted to mention.
Yeah. I love watching the game from the press conference booth or the press box, because I can just watch the D line and know that the secondary is probably good. Like, I don't think there's anything I really need to break down or like watch them operate out there. There were a couple of instances where if you have a better quarterback, they wouldn't have looked as good. There's probably 2 or 3 throws that if you have somebody back there, let's say, well, I'm trying to think of a quarterback in the Big Ten that could make that throw, but they're all like little baby boys and they haven't played college football. But like, let's just say Will Howard was, or that's a terrible example. Let's say Drew Aller was back there.
Sure,
he probably makes that throw. right?
Yeah.
Or Cade Klubnik, for example. He's a great quarterback. He probably makes that throw. But overall, they communicated well. I thought they tackled really well. I thought the secondary was Donovan Jones, man. Teach tape on how to tackle. That dude breaks down, gets his chest over his hips, he gets his knees in a great position. He explodes through the chest of the ball carrier. He's awesome. Buford, I thought, played a really good game. I was watching him. He was one of those guys where it's like, oh, Buford's there, which is like exactly what you want in a safety and running around and playing in the secondary. Singleton, I think his stats were a little bit more inflated to how he played, but I still thought he was really good. Like I thought he was really, really good.
What was the stat that they targeted Sierra Wright one time? Is that what it was over the course of the whole game?
Yeah. He's great. He's really good. He's also like did you watch that CBS Confidential thing where it was the round table? He's like a leader, man. They love he's well spoken, he's very smart, he handles a room really well. He's just a very impressive young man. This is such an ESPN take, but it doesn't surprise me that he was in Hollywood,
The actor?
But follow me along here. To be in that kind of world and to get those opportunities, you have to be a very personable human and be someone that you want to be around and be a pretty nice person. He seems that way. Just I'm a Sierra Wright guy. I don't know if that's but I think a lot of people.
You're not on an island here. Everybody is with you. I think
he is incredible. He is he's dope. So I think there still are things they need to clean up. I still think there were times they took bad angles on run fits. I still think that there were times where it's all right, Hartzog in coverage is great. Hartzog and man we still need to revisit that convo, and maybe have some better communication, or at times if he made the pick, but I wonder if there's a discussion of, hey, if we get to a late game situation and we know they're going to be throwing the ball every single time, do we put him in a different position where he's not always one-on-one or he's not always covering someone that they might be targeting?
Yeah. You mentioned it earlier. Why is this different than last year's games or 2 years ago? It's because they made the play, but as you said a few minutes ago, it was a pretty terrible throw.
It was an awful throw.
It was a really bad throw. Now, how many? And I think what you said is good. How many guys on the schedule can make the throw? I don't really know.
Not a ton.
And so that's the positive there. But, man, I've rewatched that play quite a few times now since it happened. And every time I watch it, I just think, oh, my gosh, if that is a better throw, Cincinnati is going to go up and there's only going to be a minute left in the game and everybody is going to be losing their mind. And we're maybe talking about an 0-1 team today,
And also, too, I said this to Gary, and he thought it was funny, but it is the truth. Malcolm gets so unlucky with some of the throws that he gets it seems like every time Malcolm's covering a guy, the quarterback just gives him the best throw possible. And it's just
Not that time, finally.
Not that time. He finally got a break, and he held. By the way, I thought that ball was going to be jarred loose when he hit the ground. The fact that he was able to stick it on,
hold on to it.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Well, how about one other thing, and then I want to get to the defensive line because everybody in the chat's talking about it right now. How about that he has the penalty earlier in the drive, makes up for it. Emmett Johnson, early in the game, he had that terrible dropped pass because his head lifted up, and then the next play he gets a carry. And so, those are a couple little things that I am filing away of. It, made a mistake and then followed it up with a really nice play. I mean, a game-saving play in one case and then a first down rush in the other case. So
I do want to be, because you're smarter than I am and you're brilliant. And I have
lips to God's ears.
But sometimes though, but I will say this, I have the football guy bring down to earth knowledge at times.
Yeah.
Right. We are very and rightfully so. We watch every single play and we analyze every single play and we break down every single play, right? I think it's just I want to put it out there that, and this isn't just to you, this is just to everybody because this fan base is so smart and this is how everybody handles it.
Gas everybody up before you call them idiots.
It's football. They're going to make mistakes. Not every play, not every execution is going to be perfect. And so if we're talking from if we're looking this as a grade sheet and we're grading it like a test, right? And 90% is an A, nobody will ever get an A. But if we're looking at it from just a football execution standpoint, The secondary was excellent. And the fact that we can only go back to like one hold and like two bad passes that would have been good yards for the offense is incredible. It's like you take that every single time. So, yeah, there are very small things to clean up. But if they play like that for the rest of the year, even with the mistakes included, they will be one of the best secondaries in the country.
Interesting.
Bar none. Because the fact that you can go, you only made like 2 mistakes. Oh my God. Like, where's my credit card? Sign me up. Sign me up right there. I will take that.
All right, well, let's talk about the defensive line, and I want to read this comment to kick it off from Mapskerbator. He says, I'm no football expert, but I just don't understand how you expect to have a good rushing defense when you only have 3 linemen and they're all small. I feel like they need to adjust to more of a 4-2-5 with the personnel they have. I believe you were hanging out when we had Michael Severe on our pregame show on Thursday afternoon, and he said something, or John said something about 150 rushing yards for Cincinnati, and Michael said, no way, they're not going to have 150 rushing yards. They ended up having over 200 rushing yards. You're pointing at yourself right now. What is the level of concern with what we saw from the defensive line on Thursday against Cincinnati and allowing those yards? And Matt, that most of those yards came in the second half, which, like, so on one hand, you're like, wow, they had a really good first half. On the other hand, quote unquote, did they wear down? What did you see with Nebraska's defensive line and Sorsby being able to escape for that 29-yarder amongst 90 rushing yards that he had on Thursday night?
So I want to give myself some credit because I was looking at Michael being like, and I love Michael. What are you talking about? I'm like, this team is going to, like, they have an incredible quarterback and 2 really good running backs. They are going to run this ball. This is the analogy that I used to begin the show with fishing in a mixed bag is really just about the D-line. The combo of Winery, Lenhart, Davis, and McCullough, like, best pass rush, best run fits, best. I honestly think their best packages are no jacks with Lenhart and Winery on the edges.
Yeah. Winery had more of an impact than if you would have told me a month ago that Winery would have the solid plays that he did, I would have said, what the hell happened? By the time it happened, I kind of was expecting him to have somewhat of an impact, but he made some plays that I did not see coming a month ago.
I thought he was the best player in the defense.
Really? The whole defense?
Because here's why I say that. The rest of the D-line was so lacking that his impact on the D-line meant so much.
Yeah, it was very notable.
The impact, like, so, sure, you could throw to me, man, Sear Wright was. And I'm going to be like, I agree with you. He's awesome. He's great.
Because they were afraid of throwing it that way. Yeah.
They're afraid of throwing at him. But at the same time, if you remove Winery and then you remove Wright, I think that if your replacement for Wright, like, is way closer to what your replacement for Winery would be. You know, that's kind of how I'm looking at that. Now, I think their best package, Winery and Lenhart. No jacks. No, I seriously, like but they can't do that with how that defense is created. And you might as well just go to a 4-3, which they will never go to a 4-3 if they were to do that. So they're not going to do that. The drop off, though, from Davis and Winery and Lenhart and McCullough to then what would be Ochoa, Jalen George, RVP, and I don't even know if they have. I don't even think they played another guy after that. Like, I guess it would be McGahee, right? Like, or
dude, he got smoked on that reverse. Oh my! And by smoked, he just didn't know what
he didn't know what he was doing.
That was brutal. That play was absolutely brutal.
So just the drop off is so massive. It's like those first 4 are named. Those are your Northern Pike, and those are your Walleye, and the next 4 are your bass that tastes like ass. I never want to see Jalen George and Riley Van Poppel together in the interior of the defensive line. It was together. It was brutal. It was a bad package. It was, I'm forgetting Judy. Judy had a weird game. Judy I thought was good. Judy I thought was bad. He was weird. But RVP and George were just, I can't do it. I can't do it. Jalen George, in that when they marched down the field, Cincinnati did after Nebraska scored, so it was 20-10. when they marched down the field, Sorsby getting up the middle that entire time was because the offensive guard was like, all right, Jalen, you want to go to the left and absolutely open up the middle with no spy? Be my guest. Go ahead and do it. And he did it every time. And Sorsby goes, oh, okay. And he just runs up. Like, it was terrible. He wasn't able to engage. I thought that Riley Van Poppel and Jalen George only ever went where the offensive line wanted them to go. I never thought they went anywhere that they wanted to. It was almost as if they were like, oh my God, I'm recreating the line of scrimmage. And Cincinnati was like, well, no, we want you to go here because the play is here and you're completely disengaged from it. So I think the only option you have is go ahead and you might have to just mix up of who's with who. That's what I think. I think you might have to put RVP with Lenhart, and you might have to put George with Winery, or you might have to, because you cannot play those top four like 60 snaps a game. You can't do it. Like, you still need everybody else to rotate on that D line. So I don't know what they do, but the second unit of that D line was not good.
Let me ask you this, Matt. How much of what happened was them and them being Nebraska's defensive line versus how much of it was a running quarterback, do you think? Like, where do you give? Yeah, you think it's more them than the quarterback?
It didn't happen when the other four dudes were out there.
Yeah. So you think it's definitely more Nebraska personnel based than anything?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000.
I wonder what that means. I wonder what that means for things moving forward.
It was go ahead and go back and watch. God, maybe I'll have to go because I haven't rewatched the game, and I will probably after this, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'll text it to you. I'm pretty sure it was the second time Cincinnati ended up punting. It was after okay, so I think Davis gets a tackle for loss, and then the next play, it was a third down, and they ended up getting a quick little completion, and then they had to punt the ball. Like, that whole drive, it was those four out there. It was Winery, Lenhart, McCullough, and Davis, and it was awesome. And it looked great. And they got pressure up the middle. They got pressure at the edges. Sorsby was running around. I think that was like one of Winery's best like pressures because he had three of them.
Yeah.
I think you know the play I'm talking about. Winery comes off the edge. He rolls. It was like honor angle on the press box. He ends up throwing.
Yes, I was going to say it was the one. It was like pretty much right in front
there,
of us.
And then
because we were at the far left side of the press box. So yes, I remember the exact play you're talking.
So Buford comes in and tackles. That whole drive was those four guys. Mm-hmm. Those four. And then you put the other four out there, and then it just was like Cincinnati looked like a different offense. So it's totally personnel to me. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does it look like? What does it look like, Josh? I don't know. Better
because
coaching?
They like the next
the guys who are there. I have no idea.
We all know what the next 2 weeks are going to bring, and we'll cover the games and we'll talk about the games. But I mean, look, they got a mobile quarterback on the schedule 3 Saturdays from right now when they welcome Michigan into town and Bryce Underwood. And I can't wait. I said this to John yesterday. I'm excited to watch Michigan tonight, and I'm not going to have it on the main TV because Clemson is playing LSU. But I just want to see what Bryce Underwood looks like, just like earlier in the day. I want to see what the Iowa offense looks like with a new quarterback as well. And so I'm very curious to see, but in particular, what Michigan looks like because they're the first team that Nebraska is going to play amongst those two. And it's going to be their next, like, really, really massive game. And so I think that is going to be interesting. I'm not as panicked on the defense as people are at this point, but I do think, Matt, part of the reason is that I went into this game with a certain expectation for them, and it kind of fit in with my expectation to them. You know, they had some nice plays. They had some splash plays. They had some moments where they got gashed as well. Like, the pass defense will not be as good as this moving forward in every game. I don't think the run defense will be as bad as this in every game moving forward. But, you know, we'll see what happens the next time that they play a really good team.
Your 7-5 prediction, you were spot on. You were spot on with the defense. You were spot on with the defense and your concerns. You're totally right. I don't agree with your 7-5 because I think you've missed the mark with Raiola's improvements.
With the offense? Yeah.
I believe that Dylan will be much better than what you think Dylan will be. And I think that I don't see a world like you do, where there's a potential that Dylan doesn't get better. I think it's almost impossible that he doesn't get better this year. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where we differ. But in terms of the defense and your everything you were concerned about and everything that you weren't concerned about completely came to fruition. You were concerned about the D line, even when people were telling you RVP is going to be an all Big Ten guy and they're way better than people expect and the potential is high. Like, you kind of saw it. You kind of saw all of it. And I was just stunned, though. What stunned me the most was just the difference in Unit 1 to Unit 2.
Yeah.
It to me, here is when 96, 97, 11, and 15 are out on the field, they are here.
Mm-hmm.
When then you put on 94, 95, and whoever the hell, Judy in 16, they go to here. It is massive in terms of the gap, in my opinion, because that's what I was watching the most. I was watching the D-line personnel groupings and how effective they were.
And you know what's interesting about that, Matt, is the way that they want to rotate. That is a problem. It's a problem for the obvious reasons that the defensive line doesn't have depth, but in particular, what they want to do on that side of the ball is a concern as well.
And look, Matt Verzal came on, and he did bring up
a bad word that you're not allowed to say on the radio.
He did. He brought up some interesting points, though, that I can't talk to about how they were shifting the D-line and like some of the things that they were trying to do on the run and the fact that maybe they thought they had the ability to do those things and maybe they don't now. And so they can clean some of that up in a way and maybe still keep the personnel groupings the way that they want to. Now, that's something I can't speak to because I didn't play the game.
Yeah.
There are two options.
Bless you.
There are two options that I have in my head. You either play those top four guys way more than you anticipated and just hope they stick together and you try and get them out there more and play the other guys less, or you just switch up the personnel groupings. Two
things real quick. First of all, did you just say bless me? I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say bless me. Interesting. You beat me to the point. I tried to say bless you, but you said bless me. I don't know.
I didn't know if you. Some people. Have you ever met these people? They don't say bless you.
I don't associate with these people. Those aren't my kind of people.
I didn't know if you were that guy or not.
I got you. I
appreciate you. So
we'll get to the Saturday flight in just one moment, but I did want to read this comment from Sam, who writes, just because Dylan is much better, is the rest much better? What are we beyond EJ? Is the OL cleaned up? There are other concerns on offense too. Yeah, we're running out of time this morning. Dude, we did not talk, you and I, about the running back situation. And not to pat myself on the back anymore, because everybody agreed with this, I think. Dude, that running back room is ass beyond Emmett Johnson right now, and I have a whole host of concerns. I loved how Michael referred to Mosey. I don't know, a month ago maybe, he said he plays running back like a wide receiver, and I thought that showed itself. And I'll give credit to Barthel and the offensive coaches for not trying to do something to not trying to make fetch happens with the backup running back situations. That said, they can't run EJ out there for 1,000 plays every single week as well. So I am definitely concerned about the running back room, which I was, 4 days ago before the season started.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I think with the D-line, it's great to talk about because we can really get in depth about how do you solve some of the problems and what are some of the things that you can do.
Yeah.
I can't give you any answers with the running back room. It's clear. Why did they only run out Mackay out there once?
Yeah, I was going to say, Mark says, in fairness, we only saw each guy get one carry. Is that?
But why?
Because I just don't think that they trust him. I personally think the answer is obvious, but maybe that is just my prior bias.
Wouldn't you rather them trot them out there? Wait, okay. You'd rather win the game. So let's just say they win the game regardless of what happens, right? But wouldn't you rather them trot them out there and have them play bad a couple of times and then be like, okay, they're clearly bad, as opposed to the coaching staff being like, we can't even afford to have those guys have 4 carries each and each go for a yard. Mosey I think there's meat on the bone. I think he can be good. he just thinks too much. He's thinking, kid, run. Just run and go. When you get a jet sweep or a jet touch pass, go to the sideline. Just run as quickly as you possibly can to the sideline, and then turn your head and go. Okay? And then with Mekhi, I'm concerned, man, that they didn't even trust him enough to give him a couple of carries. And Gary, and I didn't see this. Gary had brought up that I think he got blown up on a pass block assignment, and so that might have been the reason why he didn't play. Okay, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that though, because you can't have Emmett have 32 touches a game.
Yeah, it's too many, and that's why, man, over the next 2 games, put a limit on Emmett. Keep whatever that number is. Like, I would just love my ideal number, Matt, would be 10 a game the next 2.
Couldn't agree more.
You know? Yeah,
couldn't agree more.
But just you don't need to do anything. We know how good he is. We know his limitations. We know his pluses. Like, get the other guys into the game. Like, seriously, get them some reps.
That, and I look like a genius for saying maybe Emmett will break the reception record.
Dude, yes, you gassed me up earlier. Shout out to you. You said that. Everybody laughed at you like, oh, do you know how many Marlon Luck had? And you even said, yeah, but what about the bowl game that they'll play in? Because the 07 Nebraska team only played in 12. And my God, suddenly he's getting 40 touches almost. And it's like, Matt is going to be a genius. He is our Albert Einstein.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if he's getting 7 a game. And I hope he doesn't get 7 a game. Real quick. I know we love the Discord chat, but there was a comment in the YouTube chat real quick. Hokiester goes, Cortez Mills had a very sneaky, productive night too. The fact that everybody remembers him being out there, and that's not even just because he had that one catch. He only had 6 snaps. He had 6 snaps, and people were like, "Look at him! Look at 19! Look at him running out there!" Like
pound for pound, a nice night.
Give him to me, please. I like more. I would like more Cortez Mills. Also, too. That one catch, it was a great route. It was an awesome slant, and it was probably Dylan's worst throw of the night. Because if Dylan has a better throw to him, I'm probably going for 35 or 40. That's how fast he looked.
That is definitely going to be the thing to watch now over the next couple of games. Is who are the young guys, who are the inexperienced guys are going to get on the field, and that is something that we will all keep an eye on. Look at Pat popping open a brew. I love it. It's 9:19 in the Mountain Time Zone. You know what, Matt? That's perfect time because it is time now for us to get to the Saturday flight, which is an I-80 Club tradition that we started a couple of years ago, our first year back in 2022. The graphics get better each and every year. The first year we didn't even have graphics. We're posting them inside the Discord. We got them up on the YouTube page. This is our list, the curated games that you need to watch over the course of a day. I have way more room, Matt, on the graphic compared to last year. Last year, we would only do like 4 or 5 games per window. In the 11 a.m. window, I have like 8 games listed. Of course, it all begins in 40 minutes with Texas and Ohio State. I cannot wait for this game. I apologize to our audience. I'm rooting for Texas. Down with Ohio State. Go Horns. I did pick Ohio State because I'm a scaredy cat, though. I hope to hell that I am wrong.
I don't know if I want to give a hot take. I don't know. These are the number 1 and number 3 teams in the country. But at some point, if one of these teams is not ranked in the top 10, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I don't think that this
I have Texas making the natty.
I think that, well, just throwing it out there, Josh. Not a guarantee Arch Manning is going to be incredible. Like, he could end up just being
I think he's going to be really really good.
There's not a guarantee. And both of these teams had a ton of guys leave from into the NFL. And yes, they have the pipeline and they have the prospects and they have they have the talent. But I think that there are some more experienced teams out there. And there is a scenario like we've had with Texas A&M in the past, and like we've had with Florida State in the past, and like we've had with LSU teams in the past, where it's like you'll lose a ton, and yes, you still have a lot of blue chippers, but they're not nearly as good as you think they will. All in this and saying, I will take Ohio State.
All right. I hope that you are wrong. I hope that I am wrong. ABC, another SEC non-conference matchup versus a Power 4 program. Syracuse playing Tennessee. This is a neutral site game, I believe, in Atlanta. So we'll have that in the early window as well. Mississippi State at Southern Miss on ESPN. I got this one for you, Matt. You, a Northwestern fan.
Yes.
At 280. I don't understand the line on this game, man. Why is Northwestern such a short dog? Northwestern is stinky.
Really good running game.
Don't tell me about your new quarterback. I know you love your new quarterback. Yeah, see, here we go. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Yeah,
Come on now.
Nah.
Come on now.
Nah.
Northwestern actually has a pretty good defensive line this year. They still have kept the Pat Fitzgerald quarter coverage rules, which has led them to a lot of success. Here's a name that people should know. Joe Hyman. He's a running back. Joe Hyman. He's really good. He's kind of been like back number 2 for a bit. And Cam Porter, I think, is still there, but he'll be getting back 1 carries, I believe. So that'll be good for the team. Yeah, Preston Scone's awesome. Give me Northwestern.
All right. So Northwestern for Matt there. Let's see. Keena says, can we get McMaster to do a hockey flight in a few months? Yeah, maybe you can give us all the best NHL games to watch.
I'm not I'm not necessarily an NHL fan. I love hockey, and I know a lot about hockey and how to play hockey. I just watch the Blackhawks. I'm not like dialed in on the. I have too many sports. I have too many sports that I watch. I watch NASCAR. I watch UFC. I watch college football. Yeah. I've been watching F1 racing so I can make conversation with coworkers at work.
It's coworker. You don't. That's not coworkers. It's a coworker.
Hey, I'm trying to be a culture guy, all right? I'm just trying to come in and
we're all trying to convince you to watch more non-sports, and you're diving into other stuff.
I have no want.
Okay.
I love to watch what I watch.
Hey, that's fair. A couple other games in the early window. BTN has 2 at 11 o'clock, so check the overflow window. Maryland hosting FAU. Ball State is at Purdue. A couple of stinky teams there. SEC Network, Toledo at Kentucky. I put this one on there in the early window graphic, Matt. Old Dominion at number 20, Indiana. That's a 1:30 game, so it's a weird kickoff time. It's not the normal 2:30 afternoon, but I'll certainly be peeking at that because I'm very curious about the Indiana Hoosiers in 2025.
Did I send you Matt's big board for the day?
You did not.
On there.
Is
it?
Is
on there. Oh,
Let's go, baby.
I love Indiana minus. Let me see what number I got it at.
It's like 23.5, right? Isn't that what the line was?
So I'll just give you my full board. I have Ohio State money line.
Okay.
I got that at minus 122. Baylor screwed me.
I know. We talked about it earlier. Screwed me in predictions.
I have Indiana minus 24.5.
Okay.
And I have a 2-pick parlay. Notre Dame minus 3.
Nice.
Against Miami and the under in TCU, North Carolina.
Okay. So that's a Monday night.
56.5. Now, I did correctly. I was all over Georgia Tech, and I would have won if the Bears didn't let damn Jackson Arnold turn into Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Team. We got to get to the rest of the games. We didn't ever talk about the Colorado loss last night, but that was some brutal coaching late in the game from Mr.
Oh,
Fry.
Who would have thought? Yeah. Who would have thought?
You love going.
Seen that coming.
Hey, you love going into the press conference after the game with a couple timeouts in your back pocket. ABC at 2:30, Alabama at Florida State.
God.
I like the Tide to roll in this game. I have them being in the Final Four of the playoff this year. Nevada, Penn State. This is one of those that should be a blowout. Let's just see Penn State, if they are all that they are cracked out to be. They are my national championship pick. Iowa State, their second game of the year is on Fox at 2:30 as they host South Dakota. I put this window kind of sucks, Matt. So I got a few games that should be blowouts in here, but I want to see what's going on with Georgia against Marshall. Oregon, they had a kind of a rough beginning to their year last year. I'm excited to watch Dante Moore, though, and see what he looks like at quarterback against Montana State. Albany at Iowa, I mentioned that game a little bit earlier. That is a 5 o'clock game, another 5 o'clock game. Oklahoma hosting Illinois State. That's on ESPN+. So, just take a peek. I know. Look, I didn't want the graphic to have so much empty space, so I put, a sloppy game on there. I apologize. Matt is now laughing at me.
No, I just read a comment. Matt, I'm walking my grandmother down the aisle. No one. Crack a beer at 9 a.m. Man, Coors tastes different in Denver. It's gonna be a very long day, and I'm going to pace myself. But I thought it'd be a great bit if I cracked a beer at 9 o'clock.
I wish that I had a beer. In my old studio at the apartment, I had a beer fridge right behind me. I don't have that at my home.
I was reading the comments. I was being a bad co-host. Can you go back real quick?
No, we're moving on. We're moving
You're
on.
a sicko. You're a sicko for putting Albany and Iowa on there. You're an absolute sicko.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We get to the night window. We've mentioned this game multiple times. LSU at Clemson. What a game. I cannot wait for this one. I am not buying into Clemson. No, thank you, sir. They'll win the conference. They are not a national championship pick. Get the hell out of here with this nonsense. This is such nonsense. Last year, everyone's grading. Oh, congrats on losing to Texas by 14 in the playoff. What? I don't understand. I don't understand the love. I don't understand the love. Go other Tigers tonight. I mentioned Michigan hosting New Mexico. I just want to see Bryce Underwood. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's on NBC.
I love that this Saturday morning flight has nothing to do with anybody other than Josh Peterson.
Wrong.
And what he's looking. No, I love it. I love it. I think this is great. You're a sicko, and we get to dive deep into the mind of, well, I'm putting this on here because I want to see one singular player play 8 plays, and then I'll make a big decision. Which, by the way, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. Go look at the Saturday night schedule and tell me what other game to put on there. By the way, shout out to Noah Eagle, friend of the I-80 Club, was on
He's a great guy.
I-80 football show on Thursday. Go check out that interview to get ready for the college football season. Texas A&M hosting UTSA tonight. Another, I mean, look, like I said, it's not going to be a perfect schedule for us. BTN.
No, so God, this is one of the best week 1 slates we've ever had. I mean, this is incredible.
USC hosting Missouri State. Just the weirdest thing to see USC on BTN. Very strange.
I love what you have on ESPN Plus.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I am very much Red Raider pilled. Texas Tech hosting Arkansas Pine Bluff. Another game to peek at later tonight. Ole Miss on the SEC Network against Georgia State. Let's just move on to the sickos window. A lot of late night games for us tonight, folks. Fox has a 10 o'clock game, Utah at UCLA. I like the Utes.
This is if I'm not in the pocket, if I'm not in the pocket by this time, I can't wait to watch this game. I cannot. Like Utah, talk about a great offensive line, man. They might win the award for best O-line in the country. I mean, they got some boys.
The Joe Moore Award. You know about the Joe Moore Award.
Yeah, I know so much about it. Too bad. No, I knew it was the Joe Moore Award, but there are a lot of words in my head, and I sometimes freak out if I get the wrong words in the wrong places. So I just kind of I err on the side of caution from time to time. I think that'll be a really good game. Yeah, I think UCLA. I like Deshaun Foster. I'm a Deshaun Foster fan. Not even from he beat Nebraska. It was like, I think throughout the end of the year, he was.
You really liked that press conference last year. You thought he was funny.
Yeah, everybody always talks about that. You know what? He coached his ass off at the end of the year. I thought he was impressive.
Cal at Oregon State. That is on ESPN. BTN has a Colorado State-Washington game. Another hilariously weird thing to see. Washington on the BTN at 10 o'clock Central Time. TNT with Hawaii at Arizona. Let's freaking go, man. The CW tonight, Matt. Idaho at Washington State. An ESPN Plus game. Northern Arizona at Arizona State. And we mentioned it earlier, after Nebraska football tonight, 8 o'clock, live here on the I-80 Club YouTube channel. Jack will be back. We will talk more about Nebraska's game versus Cincinnati. I'm looking forward to breaking that down with him to get his thoughts. He was in the building. He sat next to like Iowa State fans and Iowa fans and veterans, and he was having just the strangest night, it seemed, Matt, the other night there at the stadium.
Yeah. God, I love Jack.
He's a great person, isn't he?
No, he's the reason why I'm here. I mean, he's the one who vouched for me to get a job at KLIN, so I owe a lot to him. Never ceases to, like, those tweets. I've always thought, like, eventually these tweets will get old. Eventually, like, the shtick in my head will be up. I can never stop myself from laughing at them. His just entire, like, dissertation of what was going on that day was absolutely incredible. So I was a big fan of that.
By the way, multiple subscribers are pointing out I forgot to list Jack's DJ set. Yes. So after Nebraska football, Jack will do a live DJ set inside of the Discord. That is only for subscribers. Go check that out. Matt gave me a look of what the hell are you talking about. IYKYK, Matt. If you know, you know. It's one of the great perks of being an I-80 Club subscriber. Jamming out to some music with Jack Mitchell while, having a couple brewskis on a Saturday night.
I've been at that DJ set. I've watched a DJ set. I gave you a look because I think they're great. I think they're
really
funny.
good. They're really good.
It's just very there are moments of funniness and moments of awkwardness, and it's like when you mesh those two together, it's perfect. Before we go, I know we have to go. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me so much. You didn't tell me how you felt about the tight ends. Can I hear what Josh Peterson has to say about the tight ends?
Lindenmeyer definitely was the best. I thought he was easily the best. Easily. Yeah.
And Harburg getting blown up on a couple of run blocks?
Problematic.
Okay.
Problematic.
Okay. Just needed to hear it.
Yeah.
He had the highest run block rate on PFF, and I was like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, this is not correct. It's not correct. But I think I want Carden Nelson to get more snaps. So we'll see.
We'll see.
He didn't
get
that
indeed.
many.
Bruce writes, thanks, Matt. Be sure to join us throughout the fall. Stay tuned, Bruce. Stay tuned. Matt and I just have to talk off the air about something.
We do.
But I think
it's basically I mean, we're not going to announce it, but it's going to happen at some point. So
we just got to figure out the timing, how often we're going to do it, et cetera, et cetera. So stay tuned. If you like Matt today and you like me being sad about a team and you like Matt maybe being sad about a team, there's the hint.
Your team sucks.
Yeah. Everyone was doubting me all offseason when I'm like, they're bad. And now they trade Micah Parsons to the Packers. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
We need to get that picture of you finding out Micah got traded and then me finding out he got traded to the team that I hate the most.
Stolen valor. People have reached out to me and said, Matt, like being angrier than you or trying to take your sadness away.
No.
Look.
Can I be honest with you? I thought that too. I did think I feel like I'm trying to steal the moment here, but at the same time, fuck your team for sending like the greatest DN. I have to now play him and suffer with
Matt's
Green
a
Bay
Bears
Packer
fan for those who don't know.
Yes, I have to now suffer with Green Bay Packers fans wearing their damn 11 jerseys everywhere. So look, obviously you're paying much higher.
Thank you for acknowledging it.
What do you mean? Why do I have to acknowledge that? It's obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah. You're trying to stolen valor. You're trying to take away my pain.
All right. Let's not act like I wasn't affected in the actions of your stupid owner. Your dumb, stupid
you know what?
owner.
But Mike Schaefer, I didn't text him until the next day, and he was like, I wasn't going to reach out to you. And I said, Matt was trying to make it sound like he has it worse than me right now. Trading away a generational player.
Wait, when did I say that? I never said that I had it worse than you.
It was the tone. It was the tone.
My God.
It was no. Don't think about me, Josh. Think about my team. No, I don't care about the Bears.
You sound like a girlfriend that I haven't had in 5 years. That's what you sound.
Nice.
Well, you didn't say anything, but your tone made it out to be that way.
4-13 Cowboy season on the way.
I will admit I was wrong. Okay,
thank you.
I was wrong.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have. I was trying to. Did you ever see that Friends episode where Monica gets mad at Rachel for stealing her thunder? Great episode.
No, not a Friends guy. We got to go, though. We can't debate Friends anymore. I apologize. Adam says it's a Saturday. Down with the NFL. It is a Saturday. Enjoy the day. Saturday morning coffee show. If you joined us live for the first time, thank you for hanging out. Normally, it's Jack Mitchell and myself. I really appreciate Matt taking the time for us, especially on a wedding weekend in Colorado. It truly means a lot. Had a great time chatting ball with you, Matt. It was really good. We got to do that in person a lot this weekend. It was nice to do it one more time over the course of the last few days. Nice to do it one more time. I'm looking forward to an announcement with you and what we'll be doing throughout this football season. So we'll have that coming very, very shortly. Again, a reminder, after Nebraska football tonight with Jack Mitchell and yours truly. That'll be at 8 o'clock on YouTube. Normally, we're going to go for 90. Don't know if we're going to do 90 tonight since Nebraska played 2 days ago. Stay tuned for that. We'll have that coming up tonight. There will be a new volleyball state that is available tomorrow. A Big Ten breakdown with Ben Stevens on Monday morning, looking back at the entire weekend that was. And then off to the races we go. Football season is finally here. God, it feels good.
Volleyball state's incredible. And I cannot wait for the Ben Stevens breakdown on Monday. That is going to be absolutely incredible. That dude's a stud. That's going to be a great show.
Going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. Matt, thanks again. This is Matt McMaster. Gary and Matt, weekdays 6 to 10 Central Time on 1620 The Zone. He writes for Husker Mac sometimes. He's available all over the place. He's on Twitter. He's available. Just yell, and he'll probably hear you and have a take.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe me. Put it on a T-shirt. I have takes.
I have takes.
McMaster. All right, I'll see you, buddy. Thank you so much, for the man.
For Matt, I'm Josh. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you later tonight here on the I-80 Club YouTube channel. Bye-bye.